19-year-old Emily, if she knew what she was signing up for when she checked the education box a few miles down that road 27 years ago, if she ever thought she would be standing on the steps of the Capitol building calling for radical joy, I don't know what she would have thought. Here I am. And yet, here I am. Friends, I lost my place. Pardon me, teacher brain. So, they're standing here today. And yet here I am, standing here steeped in gratitude for this day and this opportunity to stand in solidarity with every one of you around the work we do, and even more importantly, the worth of who we do this amazing work for. And I say this with purpose. I use the word for with intention. I say this because spending every single second, every single day, using our energy against something cannot sustain us. Coming together in our collective anger cannot sustain us alone. Being brave enough to come together in our collective joy at this moment, when it feels so counter to what a fight should be, is a necessity. The thing is, I could spelunk into all the ways that this administration is trying to remove our freedoms, disassemble our democracies, strip away rights, steal education from those that have a right to it, but I won't. Because that's their game. Create division, silence us, stoke fear, make us want to isolate from one another. That's what they want. And today, in this moment on this stage, I will not allow this moment to be about them. I have learned that a key element of resistance, which is necessary, but I struggle with, is resisting the urge to lean into the chaos, to allow myself to be consumed by it, overwhelmed by it, to become it. Resistance can also mean choosing joy and love and the good. And this isn't a toxic positivity kind of joy. This is mindful joy. This is direct eye contact with a smile that says, I double dog dare you kind of joy. This is joy in the face of adversity. One of my dear friends recently said to me that one of the most important things we can do right now is lean into our communities, to create our communities, to find the people who you know will lock arms with you and fight when the time comes, the people who believe in the same things you do, and to share joy with them, to build that foundation of trust and care with and for them. Because the time will and has come, don't doubt this, to stand tall, to lock arms, to fight for what we believe. But we can't do it alone. And in this day, at this event, in this moment, I want this moment to be a reminder that we are not alone. We together are one. We are one voice, we are one message, we are one chord. We are not chaos. We are not scattered. We are not divided. We are rooted in our collective whole, and what we can do when we lean into the power of the whole is more powerful than standing alone any day. There is beauty in that whole. There is power in that whole. And so today what we choose is to link arms, and we link arms around the joy that we receive when we are lucky enough to be in the presence and in the potential and the wonder of our students and our kids as we watch them become who they are meant to be in this world. How lucky are we? Someone once said to me when I started teaching, they said when it all felt like too much, to stop and feel my feet, to move my toes, to connect to the ground and the earth below me. And what I will say is this: as this fight overwhelms you and when you just can't hold the weight of the world, stop. Stop and feel your feet. And remember that connected to that ground all over the country and all over the world, we are standing with you. We are all connected to the earth, and we share this fight with you. We are connected to all those that have fought before us and those whose fight is yet to come. We fight for these children and for their right to become everything that we see in them. Everything that we hope for them. Everything that they deserve to be given by their right to a free and equitable public education. We will not be divided. We will stand united. because there's a link that connects us that goes beyond our differences. We believe in the power and potential of our kids. We resist for them. We dissent for them because they are the future of our world, and that is worth everything. So, with that said, let's get a little joy up in here. I would like, that's right, Balloon. Friends, I would like very much to introduce to you Ernesto Quirajero, who is, I want to make sure that I come up. So, Ernesto Quirajero, who is faculty and staff at Washtenaw Community College. I did it right? Educator here to do our land acknowledgement.
The state of Michigan occupies the ancestral, traditional, and contemporary lands of the Anishinaabe, Three Fires Confederacy, the Odawa, the Ojibwe, and the Potawatomi. We recognize the historic indigenous communities in Michigan and those who were forcibly removed from their homelands. We further recognize the ongoing relationship of and dependence upon and respect for all living beings on earth, sky, and water. In offering this land acknowledgement, we affirm indigenous sovereignty, history, and experiences. Thank you so much for being here today.
So one of the things that I wanted from the very beginning when this idea popped in my head and just would not relent was, all I want is a drum line. And friends, we got a drum line. May I present to you, to begin the joy, Great Lakes Groove. introduce to you in this moment State Representative Regina Weiss, who is going to come and speak on some things that we need to hear. Ladies and gentlemen, and all, Regina Weiss.
Thank you. Can you all give up for Emily? That's right. She helped organize this whole thing, and I think that's amazing. And I just want to first start by thanking every single one of you who came out on this. Even though it was like 80 yesterday, for some reason it's, this is Michigan. So it's cold and windy here today. Thank you coming out on this cold, windy day to stand up and celebrate public education here in Michigan. I am Regina Weiss. I'm a state representative. I'm a mom, and I am a former Detroit Public Schools teacher. So the first thing I want to say before I get started is that my 2-year-olds are here with me today, and whoever made that Fire Elon Save Elmo sign, you are right on, and we are with you. So I know this is supposed to be celebratory, and we are going to celebrate, but I do want to say this. There is a lot at stake right now, and the one thing that we all need to remember is that education is a precious resource and a right that we need to fight, all of us, to protect. It is, in my opinion, the most powerful tool that we have to overcome all of the challenges that we face in the world today. It has the power to create opportunity, the power to help erase poverty, to end oppression, to promote equity, and to enrich each and every one of our lives. But because of the threats that we face to our education system, unfortunately, we're all here in Lansing on a Saturday. But that's why it's so important. We need to show up every day to protect education. And I keep hearing over and over again, frankly, from people who have never worked in an education space, about all the things that we need to do to fix education here in Lansing and across the country. One of the things that I keep hearing about is accountability. Holding our teachers and our schools accountable when our districts struggle to meet the needs of our students. And I have a message for anyone who would blame our schools and our teachers for the struggles that we are facing right now. We do, you're right, we need accountability. But you're wrong about who needs to be held accountable. Those who need to be held accountable for the lack of resources that we face are those who are responsible for passing policy and budgets to fund those resources for our students. And so when we have a Republican majority here in Lansing that passes a budget that cuts $5 billion from education, and when we have all the threats that we all know about, we don't need to talk about at the federal level coming down. We need to make sure that we are showing up and that we are in the streets and we are letting elected officials across this country know that we will hold them accountable for what they do for public education. And I have one more message, and this is the most important one for everyone to hear. The children of Michigan are brilliant. Their teachers are dedicated. And their parents work tirelessly to provide the best future possible for them every single day. I myself am committed to standing up for every student, teacher, educator, advocate, parent, working to protect our public education system, and committed to fully funding and equitably funding our education system that ensures that every child in this state has the resources that they need to succeed. And I know everyone here is here because they believe the same thing too. So thank you for showing up, but I have homework for you. I said I was a former teacher. If you have not already visited some of these lovely tables over here to the side of the stage, before you leave today, please go see they're waving their hands in the air, Fund Our Future and MEJC to sign up to volunteer to help collect signatures for a ballot initiative that they're working on to make sure that we are properly funding our schools here in Michigan. I think we got some more petitions over there. So if you have a petition, hold it up. Please sign up to volunteer. So we need you in this fight. We need to make sure that we are properly funding our schools. And I also need you to know this. The Republican House Speaker has said that he does not plan on getting a budget passed, not only by July 1st, which is when we normally pass our education budget, but even potentially by October 1st to lead to a government shutdown. That is not acceptable. And every single one of us needs to demand, we need our public education, our public budget funded by July 1st so that our schools, our teachers, and our students have what they need to be successful when they come back to school in August. So please help spread that message. Please call your elected officials and let them know and demand that you need a school budget, full school budget passed by July 1st. It is a simple message, and it is one that we should all be clear about. SOS. Save our schools. Thank you so much, and keep up the fight.
Thank you, Representative Weiss. Thank you so much for coming and speaking and taking that time. One of the things that I wanted to happen today, one of the most important things that I wanted to make sure that we did was to spotlight our kids and our students. Friends, we have our first high school spoken word participant, Senon Carahero. Welcome, Senon.
My name is Senon Carahero. I am a sophomore student in Ann Arbor Public Schools, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about my typical day from the last week or so. First, I go to Pioneer High School for my first hour, AP Microeconomics. I learn about the mistakes I made on my quiz about the marginal product of labor, and thankfully, my wonderful teacher allows me to do some simple corrections for full points back. Before I know it, it's 8:58 and the bell is ringing. I gather my things, dash across the parking lot to catch the bus, and listen to my morning playlist on the way to my stop. I listen to All Star because, hey, aren't we all stars? I arrive in downtown Ann Arbor and walk over to Community High School. I trek up to the third floor window ledge and do some marketing homework for my online business class, BMG 140, at Washtenaw Community College. I make my way over to Algebra 2, where I pay extra attention to trigonometry ratios, which, as we learned, are the same across similar triangles. After that, I go down one floor to U.S. history, where I finish incorporating the history of my Filipino great-grandfather, Colonel Arcadio, into my World War II portfolio. I go to lunch with my forum, the mentor-like homeroom hour at Community, where we make plans for our biannual forum day, where we're going to camp together. Then I head off to Spanish 3, where I answer the Pregunta de Hoy, and write about famous Spanish painter Diego Velázquez from the early 1600s. For my last class, Fundamentals of Science 2 with my friends, we calculate and graph the velocity of a little toy car. Of course, velocity equals displacement divided by change in time. Eventually, I find myself in the library for the rest of the day, as I always do. I sit in my favorite chair and do whatever homework I can finish. Finally, I get a text that my parents are in the parking lot, so I slide my books into my backpack and submit my work to Schoology. I head out to the Carytown lot, ready to recount the day's events and lessons as enthusiastically as always. This is who I am, a student, a learner, bright and eager to learn about the world that public education has to offer. I am thankful for that, and I hope that, if nothing else, I can change the mind of any student for whom it hasn't exactly worked out. Students who forget their equations in algebra or econ, or hate doing their nightly biology or chemistry assignments, or have a hard time reading, or have anything else in their life that makes school difficult for them. Don't despair. Public schools and public school teachers can provide an open, genuine, and unique experience, one that fills anyone's heart with joy and inspires me to achieve. Thank you.
Senon Carahero, my friends. One of the other things that I wanted to make sure, not only are we spotlighting our kids, and the magic that is them, but also it's important to bring in our parents and our families, because the amount of love and effort and care that we give from us out there and the opinions and the things that we feel, it's really important that we remember that solidarity amongst parents and teachers is so crucial. I have a wonderful parent, Kayla Harper from Bay City, who has been invited to come up and share how they feel. So, Kayla. Hi. Can I see your signs? Thank you.
So my name is Kayla Harper. I am from Bay City, Michigan. I'm a parent and the community ambassador with Saginaw Bay DSA. And I know our theme is joy today, but I've come to you to tell you about the worst day of my life. September 1st, 2017 was Labor Day, and the day before the first day of school in Bay City. Now, most of you with school-aged children were probably frantically chasing down the last of the school supplies, packing backpacks, laying out outfits, and damn near drop-kicking overexcited kids into the bathtub. I should have been doing that too. Instead, I was watching my 9-year-old daughter fight for her life. That day, she was thrown from a horse headfirst into a fence post. She suffered 2 brain bleeds, a depressed skull fracture, and snapped her left arm in 2. And it's funny what sticks with you in moments like that, because I was ready for the doctors and the nurses and the chaos. I braced myself. But when we arrived and a woman introduced herself to me as the hospital chaplain while the medical team was swarming my daughter, it hit me like a freight train. I'd only ever seen chaplains in movies offering comfort in the face of the unthinkable. And in that instant, I realized that we were living the unthinkable. I realized that there was a very real chance that my daughter wouldn't make it. That night, she underwent an emergency craniotomy and was placed on life support. Though she survived, the injury left a lasting impact. Her memory, her ability to focus and make decisions, and even her handwriting was permanently affected. My daughter survived that day because Covenant Hospital gave her a second chance at life, but it was Mackenzie Elementary that gave her a path forward. She was off school for 2 months, and the principal, Julie Robinson, who is still there today and still every bit as amazing, made it her personal mission to ensure her education during this time. They sent a teacher to my house anytime she needed help. They had her on video meetings and phone calls all the time, and every action struck the perfect balance between progress and care. Their compassion wasn't just support, it was a lifeline. And at the end of this nightmare, my daughter went back to school with a huge smile on her face and a 504 plan that is still in place to this day. She's here today, healthy and strong. I can only imagine how much these services cost the school, but they never wavered. There were no budget discussions, there was no red tape, only a relentless commitment to my daughter's recovery and education. Her teachers weren't just fulfilling a duty, they were giving up their own time, adjusting their lesson plans and making sure that she was never left behind. Their actions were proof that my daughter wasn't just a student, she was part of a community that refused to let her struggle alone. And her story is only 1 in a million in the grand scheme of things. That kind of support does not come out of thin air. It comes from funding, federal guarantees, and civil rights protections that only exist because the Department of Education exists. Without this department, schools are left to figure it out on its own, which so many never bother to do. Children like mine were left behind before the DOE came into existence, not because teachers like you didn't care, but because they weren't given the resources to help their children. And our children are our most valuable asset. They're our future, our hope, and our promise as a nation. It is essential that we invest in them, not just as students, but as the leaders, innovators, and creators of tomorrow. They are the heartbeat of our communities and the foundation of our society's future. And I say it's time to stop treating education as an afterthought and start giving our children the attention, resources, and respect that they deserve. So we aren't just here to make noise. We're here to make history. And when the children in our lives ask us what we did for when their future was on the line, every single one of you will be able to say that you showed up, stood up, and spoke out. And we will not sit down until no one ever dares call education wasteful again.
Quick pause and celebrate this human who is standing right here. Will you please come up and can you, so we know who we are cheering for and who our story is about? So the second thing I really wanted when I decided I wanted to make this thing come to life was a children's choir. Oh, hey, and guess what we got? Hey, what did we get? I would like very much to welcome to the stage. Ooh, I'll use my teacher voice when this goes out. Friends and family and all in between, the Lansing Children's Choir.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ben English. I am the executive director of the Lansing Children's Choir. I'm a father. I'm a fierce arts advocate as well as education advocate. Thank you all so much for being here. We're really excited. We close every concert since 2015 with a song called A Blessing. That's what we're going to sing for you today. I'm just going to read the lyrics. May love and laughter light your days and warm your hearts and home. May good and faithful friends be yours wherever you may roam. May peace and plenty bless your world. May all your days be bright. May angels always be nearby to help you through the night. May all the things you're wishing for and all your dreams come true. May every gentle wind that may every peace and joy and happiness bring happiness to you. So we're going to sing a little piece for you called A Blessing by Jay Altus.
Lansing Children's Choir. I think that's great. Next, I wouldn't be here doing this today without the amazing support of an organization called 482 Forward that came out of the woodwork and found me and my cockamamie idea and said, Emily, let's bring it to life. And so the creator, I'd like to say, of 482 Forward is Immani Foster. Immani Foster, my friend.
Good afternoon, everybody, and for my Detroiters, what up, though? All right, it's a couple of us in here. Thank you so much for that introduction. My name is Immani Foster, and I am, first of all, a proud graduate of Detroit's public school district. I'm also an organizer with 482 Forward. We are a coalition of parents, teachers, students, other school staff, and organizations across the city of Detroit who believe that every child, no matter who they are or where they come from, what language they speak, whatever they deal with, they all deserve access to a quality and a fully funded public education. Thank you so much. Growing up, my mother instilled in me the importance of education, of reading, and being a part of creating the world that I wanted to see. She taught me the liberating power of books. She taught me the access that knowledge can bring you. From my own experiences in high school, from not having an English teacher for an entire year, to the experiences that I hear every day from Detroit students about feeling undervalued based on the way that we fund and educate our students across the state. I have stayed in this fight for almost a decade, since I was 15 years old, because I believe in our vision. I believe in our young people, and I know that they are worth fighting for. If you believe that, let me hear from you. I believe in a Michigan where every student has access to an education that allows them to create their own successful future. When students don't have ceiling tiles falling in front of them, and where literacy rates and poverty rates don't determine what students deserve funding. Where teachers are paid what they deserve, and schools can holistically be the real innovative hubs for our young people. A Michigan where students who had experiences just like me can still thrive, no matter where we come from. I believe that this is also just the start of what our students really deserve. And most importantly, I believe that we will win. But we cannot do it alone. Michigan students need you to step into this fight and to help us fully fund our schools. I want to thank Rep. State Regina Weiss for bringing up exactly what I'm going to bring up. If we want to fully fund our schools, we have to make sure that the richest people in Michigan invest in the same communities that are investing in their corporations and in their businesses. We have to make sure that they are paying their fair share and pouring into our communities, into our schools, and into our families. So if you align with this vision, if you connect with what I'm saying, go find our table. Come find me or somebody else with a clipboard and get involved in our fight to fully fund public schools. This is not the time to be isolated. This is not the time to feel like it's the end. This is just the start for us. Join 482 Forward, join MEJC, join Fund My Future. Fight with us to fully fund our schools, and I believe and I know that we will win. And if you know that, I want you to do this chant with me. When I say, tip the scales, y'all say, fund our schools, all right? Tip the scales! Fund our schools! Tip the scales! Fund our schools! Yeah, tip the scales! Fund our schools! Tip the scales! Fund our schools! All right, thank y'all. Bless everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Immani Foster. Okay. Next, from Benton Harbor, we have Elnora Gavin and their sweetie pie child 7 who has come, and they are speaking together, generations who care. Please welcome our speakers.
Happy Saturday! Woo! So, I am again Elnora Gavin, and this is my son, Seven Green. We are from Benton Harbor, Michigan, representing Benton Harbor Public School System. And so, I think what would make the most sense is for me to step aside first and let you hear an essay that Seven wrote when he was in elementary school that was assigned from his teacher, Miss Mitchell.
I took a deep breath before reading out my paragraph to the judges. They raised their boards, causing me to let out a sigh of relief. I made it into the competition. It made me feel like I could accomplish anything, which reminds me of my dream to become a therapist. I want to become a therapist so I can help those who are having and or are in a mental battle with themselves. Another reason I want to become a therapist is to give those in need a non-judgmental environment. The final reason I want to become a therapist is probably the main reason why I want to become a therapist. Although it is very simple, the final reason I want to become a therapist is to return to what my community has given to me. I want to and hope to become a therapist to help those who are seeking mental help. I want to become a therapist to make the world more livable for everyone, in order to slow down the high crime rate committed by those who are seen as insane by the judges or whatever. Sometimes, sadly, people might commit crimes without any past trauma or without any reasoning, just to do it. To become a therapist to slow down the high crime rate. I think Michigan lawmakers should, instead of leaving the money in the bank, start using it and investing in things that the kids want. Such as therapists for the schools, because I've seen depressed kids who are fighting their own battles without any help. And I don't like to see others suffer, because that's just not good.
Can we give Seven another hand? You see why I'm such a proud public school mom. That essay was written without any input from me. His public school teacher assigned that. And so Joe Dispenza once said that an empath can turn darkness into light, can turn pain into power, can turn trauma into wisdom. And when I hear my child's essay, that is what is possible when we invest and protect the dreams of our children in these public schools, regardless of their race, regardless of where they live, regardless of who they love. It is our responsibility to stand in our spaces and say no to hatred, no to defunding our public schools, no to anti-DEI, and yes to the dreams of our children today. Thank you.
good people. Okay, friends, did I mention that I'm an art teacher? So if it feels a little fancy when I talk and use my hands, it all makes sense. I also want to make sure that you pay attention if you walk down this beautiful mile right here that we have art teachers who descended upon that intersection with some beautiful chalk art. So please be so kind as to give it an eyeball on the way out. Friends, we have, moving on, we have a beautiful speaker, Cindy Gamboa, Detroit parent, who is going to come and speak about things that they care about that we need to hear. Cindy Gamboa.
Hola, buenas tardes a todos. I'm gonna translate for you guys because I don't know if my Spanish speech is gonna hit. So, hola, my name is Cindy Gamboa and I am a proud parent of a third grader in Detroit Public Schools. I'm also a community leader fighting for immigrant rights in the state of Michigan. I'm here to talk to you about what we all want to talk about. How do we make sure that we uplift our children in this time of crisis? Every day, our kids walk into schools. We're hoping for a safe, supportive, and strong education. Right now, our schools are being asked to do more with less again. Last session, we celebrated a big step forward, a historic investment in our school budget, including a long overdue funding for English language learners. That moment gave us hope. It showed us that when we stand up and we fight, we get what our kids need to succeed. But now we're taking 2 steps back. How are we back here? The state is pulling back resources at a time when our schools and our kids need more and not less. Our classrooms are struggling with overcrowding. Teachers are stretched thin. Special education programs need resources. English language learners that always needed the support still don't have the support they need. And we're facing this disruptive, vengeful government leaders that don't care about what we need, what our families need, what our communities need. And this isn't what they want. This is about what our kids deserve. We're calling on our state government and everyone to stand up to fight for what's right. We need to fully fund our public education. We need to protect and expand the support for our most vulnerable students, including English language learners. We need to invest in special education, in students' mental health, in the school facilities that our children learn in every day. Our community is under enough pressure already. For the Latino communities, the heartless deportation agenda means that we don't know who's going to be the next to be kidnapped. We need stability. We need safety. We need our kids to, they shouldn't be carrying this mental anguish of having to think about their parent not being home at the end of the day when they come home from school. What about their well-being? Can we start investing in their mental health? We need school systems that work for all of us. Our kids will only get 1 shot. For my daughter, that means 1 shot at 3rd grade, 1 shot at middle school, 1 shot at graduating and being prepared for this world. We can't let this generation down. So let's make sure that we all do our part. We make sure schools get what they need and our children continue to have a loving, supportive environment from us all. Gracias.
Yes! Yes! Friends, Thank you so much. Cindy, thank you. Ooh. We now have Emmy Zenady representing Equality Michigan. Emmy Zenady, come on up.
Little windy. How are y'all doing today? No, you're starting to get a little quiet, so I'm gonna ask y'all again because we got a lot more speakers to go. And I think we gotta pick up the energy a little bit. So how are y'all doing today? What? No. One more time. How are you doing today? I'm gonna start with a little story time. So when I was a senior in high school, a senior in a public high school, there was a policy that I really liked that second semester seniors, if and only if their grades were high enough going into finals week, did not have to sit for their final exams. Y'all like that policy, huh? And I'm sure the youth today are a little better behaved than we were in 2007, I'm not sure. Because in my day, second semester seniors were a nightmare. Including myself. Nothing but trouble, and not the John Lewis kind. So one by one, as the year wound down, my notebook pages turned from notes about Arthur Miller's The Crucible and whatever my poor chemistry teacher was trying to teach me, to scribbles and 3D shapes and where we were going to stage our next water balloon ambush. So you can imagine the shock, and he might be here today, I'm not sure, when my senior year accounting teacher told me that he wanted me to sit for his final exam. I said, well, I have an A, and the school policy says, and he just cut me right off. And he said, you told me you wanted to study accounting in college. He asked, do you think not studying and sitting for this exam will make you more prepared for that next step? And now I tried to reason my way around his logic, but he'd already made up my mind for me. I'd be sitting for that damn test while my pals were clowning around town, laying by swimming pools, and who knows what else. And at that moment, in that public school, with that MEA teacher, about 17 years and 11 months ago, I learned something about life and about critical thinking. I learned that day, that the easy way isn't always the right way. And that the right way can sometimes be really, really hard. And so why am I sharing that story with you all today? Well, because I'm a transgender woman. And I left my accounting career behind some years ago because my life was calling me to stand up for my community at a moment where I felt they needed me. My job now is quite literally to protect transgender young people and their families right here in the state of Michigan. Right here in this building. And I have to say right now, that's the hard way. It's the hard way because some really greedy, powerful people would rather win the race to be the world's first trillionaire than kick in their fair share of taxes so that our hardworking, dedicated teachers can get paid a little more money. Kick in their taxes so that our students aren't trying to fill their brains while their stomachs are empty. Hard way, because for those greedy people to accomplish that, they need us to believe, they need all of you to believe that the problem, instead of their corruption, is a book about a family with two dads. Or a book with a boy character who likes wearing nail polish. It's the hard way because some other really greedy people who who make money selling the guns and bullets used in school shootings. Well, they want you at your school board meetings with tiki torches, screaming about a 13-year-old transgender girl who wears face glitter, has posters of Chappell Roan on her wall, and just wants to play soccer with her friends 3 nights a week. And now, while I think trans people are the most beautiful, loving, nurturing, compassionate, and resilient people on this earth, it's the hard way, because if you put 100 strangers in a room, you'll be lucky if one of them is trans. That's why I need all of you. That's why we need all of you. That's why the sweet trans kid at your school and their family, they need all of you. And to be clear, I don't need you to understand everything about the trans community. We don't need you to get all the words right and the pronouns right and the vocabulary right all the time. But we do need you to stand up to extreme government overreach. They do need you to tell Donald Trump and Congress that the doctor's offices and the dining room tables where families are making decisions have no extra chairs for grifting politicians. They need all of you to reject the false premise that the only way for our federal government to give our schools our tax dollars back is if we discriminate against trans kids and gay teachers. And when some elected officials, some who we even thought were our friends, start selling us on a new direction, and it's not one where we do more for all working families like yours, but rather one where we do less for some working families, like the one with a 16-year-old transgender son. When people like that start making prophecies out of exchanging their values for power, we need you to know that those who are willing to give up transgender kids today will also be willing to give up books that teach about other injustices tomorrow, and that they'll be willing to give up other people's health care the day after that. And that the thing they might be asked to give up next week could be your thing. Or that the group of people they might need to sell or throw under the bus to feel like they can win their next election could be your group of people next. So trans kids need you. All kids need you. Our country needs you to remember that whatever your versions are of my senior year accounting teacher, we need to remember what we learned from them, the hard way. Because what I know now is that if I was 18 years old again and I was asked if I wanted to skip that exam and take the easy way out, my answer would be 2 simple words: hell no. Hell no. So I'm going to end today by asking you, are we going to take the easy way out? No! Are we going to let our institutions take the easy way out? No! Are we going to let politicians take the easy way out? No! Are we going to let Donald Trump take the easy way out? No! Then let's go fight like it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. All right, ready for a treat? Because here comes one. Friends, all the way from Detroit, Michigan, I have a proud middle schooler who goes by FGO Flo. This young human uses their skill and their creativity and their voice to create some truth in the best rap way possible. FGO Flo.
Hey, how y'all doing? What's up, y'all? I'm FGO Flo. I'm from Detroit. Y'all already know. Y'all already heard it. One second. So, do y'all know that the public schools are extremely underfunded? Yeah! Y'all okay with that? Yeah. So we gonna make a little voice about that concern with some music. I'm about to turn y'all up. Hey DJ, hit that. What y'all here for? Look at me, girl. Oh, look at me, girl. Yeah. Oh. What you here for? Look at me, girl. What you here for? Look at me, girl. Oh, look at me, girl. Girl, oh. We could be driving foreign cars. You take me high, I take you far. Louis purses on the spot. Now you mad cause I'm a star. Tell my friends I'm gonna get paid, but just believe me, then they dip. People turn around just for greatness, just believe me, I am him. Supposed to be friends, I'm faking and counterfeit. When I get money, I feel like Lil Wayne. If I don't want things, people throw shade on my shining. I came from the grind, my shirt is designer. I get to the bands, I get to the earnings, I get to my fans. I came from the bottom, I get to the top, and I made it here. I ain't never left the house. Everyone know that I'm really real. What? I'm on that whip and I'm telling them. Everyone know that I'm really real. Come tell them all. 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 Come tell them I'm fresh. What? Huh? Come tell them all. Come tell them all. Come tell them all. Everyone know that I'm on that whip. Really real fresh. What? How about that whip? Huh? Everyone know that I'm fresh. What? Everyone know that I'm fresh. What? Scared of my money ain't just what? Money ain't never the problem. So I used to skip from street. Gucci design all over my feet. Bands on money so clean. All of my hands run out of my team. Girls to the party. Diamonds go bling. All of the girls gon' be sipping for me. Fresh. Everyone know that I'm really real fresh. How about that whip and I tell them I'm fresh. Everyone know that I'm really locked in. How about that whip and I tell them I'm fresh. Yeah. Go tell them I'm. 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 Hey, got no time. Got that boy out there gotta grind. Got no time for these girls on the line. Sometimes the bro gotta hustle for a dime. Hey, got no time. When I get a real girl, I take her high. Take to the sky. Let it go fly. Yeah. I've been hustling for a while, huh? Yeah, go stupid, huh? Go stupid. Well, I've been hustling for a while, yeah, I've been hustling, trying to get up to the top, trying to get up from the stuff. Boy, I'm loose, I'm on the end of the game. Harder you work, bigger the change. Like you walk, harder the game. Haters gon' hate, man, that's the game. I know it's hard, but man, it's gon' change. I'm getting money, ain't nothing gon' change. But if I'm talking about staying in your lane, I'm trying to rack up hundreds and fifties and racks. I'm trying to get up to the game. All y'all talking on guardrail lane. Back off, I'm gonna deal with no lanes. I'll be playing with all false claims. Yeah. Better than you, look at my potential, I'm differential. Stacking up money, my bag. Diamonds on me, it ain't that. Official is my new name. I think it's time for a change. People out here trying to try me, trying to act like me, trying to be like me. Let me keep a peep. Got many reasons going stupid. Diamonds on me going stupid. Money on me going stupid. Everything on me going stupid. Yeah. Go stupid. Yeah. Go stupid. Yeah. Go stupid. What? Everything on me go stupid. Diamonds on me going stupid. Everything on me go stupid. Yeah. Go stupid. Yeah. Go stupid. Yeah. Go stupid. Yeah. Hey, diamonds ain't on me, they stupid. Go stupid, blow out the brains. I really been making the change. If you hustle, you get you a change. I can never crash out of the stammer. In love with the money and Faco, he told me you feeling the same. Always be jumping that heat, we finna turn up the flames. I don't know why they hating on us. Can't put a stain on us. This for everybody changed on us. Just know at the top is just us. And money and God I trust. Just look at the diamonds they bustin'. Go stupid to chain the dumbest. And I know where I'm going, I don't need a compass. Find you a hustle and get you some money and stay out the way. Always be for the bands, but I'm not a parade. A wide receiver, I just made me a play. And get on my face, I ain't going back to minimum wage. So I gotta go stupid, yeah. Everything gonna go stupid. Money on me going stupid. Diamonds on me going stupid, yeah. Everything on me go stupid. Diamonds on me going stupid. Everything on me go stupid. Go stupid. Go stupid. Say go stupid. Go stupid. Go stupid. Everything on me go stupid. Yeah. Shout out to FGO Flo, man. I appreciate y'all for having us.
Hey y'all, make sure y'all follow me on Instagram at FGO Flo, FAYGOFLOW. Thank you. What? That was a middle schooler! Right? Ooh. All right. We're going to keep it going. Poet laureate from Marquette, Michigan, Demetrius Davis. Welcome.
I know that this is supposed to be positive, so please receive my speech as a call for action. We, the people of the United States of America, within the state of Michigan, depose. We refuse to accept the education standards of the current fascist regime in power. Fascism, at its core, fears the educated mind. It fears a child who questions. It fears the worker who reads. It fears a thinker who dreams. Why? Because education, true education, is dangerous to tyranny. It teaches us not what to think, but how to think, and that is the seed of revolution. Under fascist regimes, education becomes a... Oh, crap. Education becomes a weapon, not a tool of empowerment, but of obedience. It teaches silence, it teaches submission, it rewrites history and censors truth, turning classrooms into echo chambers of state propaganda. But we know better! We know that real learning doesn't happen under the watchful eye of authority. It happens in circles, in community, in solidarity. Knowledge must be shared, not kept under lock and key. Questioned, not dictated. In my vision, education is not standardized testing and rigid curricula. It's curiosity, exploration, conversation. It's the older teaching the younger, the experience guiding the new, not through domination, but through mutual respect and trust. Fascism seeks to control not only our bodies, but our minds. It cannot tolerate curiosity because curiosity is unruly. It cannot tolerate dialogue because dialogue decentralizes power. Fascism thrives on obedience, on history rewritten to fit its narrative and erased when inconvenient. It fears the child who asks why, the worker that asks who benefits, and the elder that remembers what came before. Education under fascism is not education, it is indoctrination. It is the slow suffocation of thought to erase the erasure of culture and the dismantling of critical thinking in favor of blind nationalism and rigid hierarchy. Under fascism, the classroom becomes a miniature police state. Teachers are surveilled, books are banned, students are punished not for failing to learn, but for learning too well. Because we are not just fighting fascism, we are planting seeds of a world beyond it. A world without rulers. A world where education is not a privilege or a weapon, but a human right. Now is the time where education needs us. It needs us to stand up for it and protect it. It needs us to embrace and nurture it. There shall be no room for anti-intellectualism amongst us. We are learners, we are builders of the world to come, and we will never stop learning because to learn is to live free. Thank you.
Thank you, my friends. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, now keep it going. Representing our State Board of Education, we've got Mitchell Robinson and Pam Pugh.
Thank you. My name is Mitch Robinson. I was elected to the State Board of Education in 2022.
And in my day job, I'm a professor of music education. Let's hear it. Just down the street, about 3 miles that way at Michigan State University. Go Green! Before that, I was a high school music teacher, a coach, and an administrator for 10 years. I ran for the State Board of Education because I am sick and tired of the attacks on public education. Attacks on our kids, our teachers, and our schools. So let's be clear. The calls to eliminate the Department of Education and a recent Republican proposal in our state that would cut more than $5 billion from our state's education budget, that's not about improving education for our kids. These are targeted attacks against the children and communities who need our support and protection the most. Children in underfunded rural and urban schools, LGBTQ kids, and students with disabilities and special learning needs. Precisely those children who need our protection the most. With 4,200 employees as of 2024, the Federal Department of Education was the smallest federal cabinet agency and just half the size of the next larger agency, yet its annual $79 billion appropriation was the fourth largest. And that's not counting the $1.6 trillion federal student loan portfolio managed by the Department of Ed. So the Department of Education is by far the most efficient cabinet-level agency in the federal government. It does the most with the least. So if your goal is to make the government more efficient, why would you cut the most effective federal agency that we have? For what it's worth, this is exactly the case with our state's education department and in every one of your local school districts as well. Public schools do incredibly important work on a shoestring budget, educating 90% of our nation's children while being drastically and systematically underfunded. But we hear a lot from elected officials about what they are against. I want to take just a minute to talk about what I think all of us want for our children, our teachers, and our schools. We want all children to have the opportunity to read for enjoyment, play an instrument, and sing, draw, dance, play, feel, and be kind to one another. We want rich arts programs, nurses, psychologists, counselors, librarians in every school, not just the big suburban schools, every school in the state. And we want to make sure that every child comes to school and leaves school not hungry. We want schools to be places where every child and adult is treated with dignity and respect. And we want our teachers to be free to create their own lessons, to work collaboratively with their colleagues and with their administrators, elected school board members, and parents. Finally, we want all children to have teachers who care more about their students' growth and development as fully human beings than about their test scores. The vast majority of us, American parents, taxpayers, we believe that the schools that our kids are going to are doing a good to very good job, and we want them funded by our tax dollars. We also want those schools and their kids' education to continue to be of high quality. That's why we are all here today to tell the Republican leadership in Washington and in Lansing, stop the attacks on our children, our schools, and our communities. Thank you.
Well, boy, tough act to follow. But we are the people, and the people united. The people united. The people united. My name is Pamela Pugh, and I am so honored to serve as the president, your president of the State Board of Education for the state of Michigan. And when they come after our children's future, our educators, what do? We stand up and we fight back. When we have billionaires that are coming for our children's dollars, the dollars that should be in our classrooms, what do? So that those dollars do not go to privatization of our education. When we have billionaires like bullies in the classroom going after our children's lunch and breakfast, what do? When we have bullies that are trying to get our teachers to teach lies about our wonderful, resilient history, what do? We stand up and we fight back. I want you to know that that is what we are doing. From day one, from January 20th, our state superintendent of public instruction, which is one of our most important jobs that Mitch and I and the majority of our board member are working on now to make sure that we replace our current superintendent. But our superintendent, myself and our board members, the majority, have been working with our AG to make sure that we stand up and we fight back. Just last night, just yesterday, there was a filing of a lawsuit on your behalf, on our country's behalf, right here in Michigan, to stand up and fight back against those who want to remove diversity, equity, and inclusion. And what we are telling them is, no, we will not teach lies to our children. Yes, we will stand for our children who are among the LGBTQ community and their educators. Yes, we will stand for those who have different religions than ours, who look different, who have different skin colors than ours. Because we know that diversity, equity, and inclusion, if we don't stand up, it's about the rural child who needs transportation to get to their school. It's about our special education students who we have to protect. So what do? We stand up. We stand up because we, the people, will never be divided, and we have your back. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Next, we have Representative Jason Morgan. Thank you so much, Jason Morgan.
Thank you so much for being here today. My name is Jason Morgan. I am proud to represent Michigan's 23rd State House District, covering part of Ann Arbor and Southeast Michigan. We are here today, not just in protest, but in celebration, because public education is worth it. It's worth defending. It's worth investing in. And most of all, it's worth fighting for with joy in our hearts and truth in our voices. I am the proud product of public education. From elementary and high school in Pinconning, Michigan and Bay County to college way up in Marquette at Northern Michigan University, to where I live today, the University of Michigan for grad school. Let me see a show of hands if you're a public school teacher. Holy cow, that's amazing. If you've gone to public school, if you have kids in public school. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are who we are celebrating. Thank you for making an incredible difference in the lives of so many of our students and young people and in our communities. Before I ran for office, I taught government at Washtenaw Community College, and I was a proud member of the MEA. I sat in classrooms with students who were working multiple jobs, some raising families, and others just trying to figure out their place in the world and what they wanted out of life. I saw how hard they were fighting to make something for themselves, to build a life that they could believe in. One of my students, Emily, shared that she was able to go back to school through the Michigan Reconnect program and make her dreams a reality. I spoke to countless students who had stories like this, and I know you do too. I worked with my kids, just like all of you do, every single day, whether you're thankful for it or not. Not everyone is born with the same opportunities, and not everyone gets the same level of support from their surroundings. But public education says, we'll fight to give you a better future, no matter who you are or where you come from. I saw the power of public education, what it can do firsthand, when it's supported, believed in, and fully invested in. And even when it's not fully invested in, as you all know. It changes lives. It creates opportunity. It's what this rally is really about here today. It's about remembering the power of that work. It's about standing shoulder to shoulder and saying loud enough for everyone to hear that our schools matter, our kids matter, and our teachers matter. I know that a lot of us we're angry and we're frustrated by the state of the world today, and we should be. We're seeing attacks on our educators, our school boards, our kids, our libraries, our very values. We're watching public education get put on the chopping block, disrespected and dismissed, both in Washington, D.C. and here in Lansing. But there's something else that we're seeing too. We're seeing people step up. We're seeing parents organizing. We're seeing students speaking out and educators refusing to back down. We are here saying that we aren't going anywhere. Our schools are more than a line item in a budget. And education is more than earning a diploma or getting a job. It's the light in the darkness. It teaches us about where we've been and where we're going. It shows us how to make new things, solve tough problems, and understand the world around us. It gives us the tools to continue learning and growing for the rest of our lives. Whether it's a kid learning about the civil rights movement or the building blocks of life in a science lab, these are the lessons that stick with us and stick with them. And they become part of a future that we all share. So yes, we're fired up, we're frustrated, but we're also filled with hope because we're surrounded by people who care, by people who believe, people who are ready to act. We have hope because we know what it looks like when we show up for each other. We have hope because we know that change happens when enough people decide that it's time. The power to defend, the right to learn, doesn't just live in a building or an office or a single person. It lives in each and every one of us together. So if you're standing here today, know that your presence matters, your voice matters. If you've ever stood up for a student, advocated for a teacher, voted in a school funding election, you've made a difference and you're continuing to make a difference. So let's work together. Let's show them that we have the power of curiosity, the power of knowledge on our side. Let them hear us, let them feel us, let them know we're not backing down. And never forget that this is done with love for our communities, for our future, and for our kids. Thank you so much.
Awesome, Jason Morgan, folks. Jason Morgan. I just want to take a quick second before I introduce the next person who is coming here. When I spoke to this person originally, they said to me, Emily, I really, really want to be a part of this because this is something that I really, really care about. Ladies and gentlemen, former teacher and state senator, Dana Polehanki.
have to make this. Hold on. Okay. Hello, educators. My name is Dana Polehanki. I was a high school English teacher for almost 20 years. And for the past 2.5 years, I have held this gavel as the majority chairwoman of the Education Committee in the Michigan Senate. In the time that I have held this gavel, my Democratic colleagues and I have made your professional lives better. We undid some bad education laws and made some good education laws. And we funded our outstanding public schools more than any time in recent history. We did this because we believe in you. We know how fiercely you care. We know how exhausted you are. We know that you could make more money in another line of work. But you stay because more days than not, you love your job and you're damn good at what you do. As legislators, we know we have more work to do. We need to see your paychecks reflect your levels of education, most of you with master's degrees. We're still not there. But please, stay the course, because as long as we have power, we can and we will do more. And while our circle of control at the state level, is at the state level, we will do everything in our power to protect you and your students from the cuts and the chaos coming out of Washington, D.C. While I hold this gavel, we will not participate in the demonization of teachers. We will not participate in the demonization of LGBTQ students, immigrant children, or diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. And we will not give credence to fake scandals, conspiracy theories, and scare tactics that are not supported by law. Do not cower, colleagues. Don't you dare cower. Your students are counting on you. Enjoy your time here at your state capitol. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator Polehanki. Okay. Next, my friends, we have a representative from Fund My Future. Please welcome Miriam.
Hi everybody, my name is Mariam. I'm with Fund My Future. I went to Troy High School, and then I graduated from Olkin University, and I am what it looks like, or I'm a result of when our public services actually work, right? And so, who's here today because they believe that the education of our children is a non-negotiable? And who's here today because they care about the future of our children? At Fund My Future, we believe the best thing we can do to show that we care about the future of our children is fund education. And how can we do that? When the wealthy pay their fair share in taxes, we can fund education. So at Fund My Future, we believe taxes are how we show we care for one another. And if you're interested in that, we have a table over there. Thank you so much. I had it really quick and short for you guys, sorry.
Thank you so much. Just so you guys know that next to this stage, we have all of these tables set up. And the tables, I like to call it Action Town. So friends, after you hear everybody talk about all the things and you believe the things and you feel the things in your body, you are able to walk over to these tables where they have actionable items for the things that we've been talking about. So you can feel like today what you're actually doing is moving these things forward. So please make sure to go and have a little visit. Make some eye contact. Maybe make a new friend. You never know. I would like very much to introduce to you an unbelievable duo from Dearborn, Michigan, Robin Tanglin and their sweetie pie, Alex. Come on up.
Good afternoon. My name is Alex Macklid from Dearborn, Michigan. I'm in 9th grade and attend Dearborn Public Schools. If I'm being honest, hockey is my first love, but really, I appreciate attending public schools where I'm able to have classmates and friends from many different backgrounds, different social classes, and different races. My surroundings have helped me gain a more empathetic personality and given me a better understanding of others' viewpoints. For example, in my AP Human Geography class, when we talked about conflicts or refugee and humanitarian crises, there are a number of students in my class who have experienced these things or have had a family member experiencing them. Our discussions in class allow me to see perspectives that I would have never thought of before. One of my favorite middle school experiences was working in a class of special education students. I was able to work with an autistic, nonverbal student named Mutaz. I attended art class with him many days, helped him with worksheets, and even went on shopping trips with the kids. At the end of the year, I was able to attend a citywide festival for ASD students. These are things that I would have never experienced had I not went to a public school. I know that there are challenges to our public education system, but just as it was important for me to hear different perspectives in my human geography class, I think that it's extremely important for politicians to hear our perspective on the importance of strong, funded public education. For these reasons, I'm extremely thankful for the people who have given up the time to advocate for my educational experience, particularly my mom, who ran for school board this past fall and continuously fights to make our schools a better place.
I'm so proud of my son. He was like my best campaign volunteer, to be honest, and we ate a lot of pizza, didn't we, buddy, during that time? My name is Robin Macklid. I have 3 children in Dearborn Public Schools, including my son Alex, who goes to Edsel Ford High School. Although our school system has a lot of challenges, I am very happy to say that I send my kids to some of the most diverse schools in Michigan, and I am a proud PTA mom. And I want to talk about advocacy. I'm a mom, but I'm also my mother's daughter. And in my case, my mother, Michael Tanglin, was the most energetic, empathetic, and passionate public school teacher and role model I could ever hope for. I grew up visiting her classroom at Stewart Elementary in Detroit, and I loved that it was always filled with the buzz of energy, excitement, and conversation. My mom always fought passionately for her students to have equal opportunities, and she brought our family along. I remember working in a community garden in a vacant lot across from the school. I painted faces at events, and I helped raise money for things that were important to the kids at the school. Not long after I started my first job, my mom called me. Detroit Public was selling school buildings to charter schools, and Stewart was in danger of closing. She had told her colleagues and parents that her daughter knew how to do business writing, and she would help. It was my first real moment of activism for school equity and helping write a proposal for parents to present at the school board meeting. I listened to the parents and compiled an airtight case on why our school needed to remain open for the neighborhood. And it worked. Because of my mom and understanding the difference in learning conditions, I have always felt deeply troubled by inequity wherever I see it. When I had my own children, public education became even more deeply personal to me. I wanted my children to go to the very best schools, don't we all? Yeah! I joined the PTA, and while I have always devoted time and energy to fundraising and common PTA activities, I have also taken my role as PTA mom very seriously as it relates to advocacy, equity, and safety in my children's schools. I know that teachers are stretched thin, and I seek to partner with them to enrich our kids' education and improve learning conditions. This past fall, I decided to run for school board, and I saw comments from some supporters of other candidates that I was just a PTA mom, which is true. I've handed out many an ice cream sandwich, I've organized 8th grade celebrations, and decorated gyms for Halloween dances. But I've also weighed garbage with kids in waste-free lunch studies. I've watched children release 100 butterflies from a garden I helped them create. I've made messes with dirt and paint and birdseed in classrooms during school garden club that our principal may never forgive me for. But I've also participated on interview committees for principals, athletic directors, and teachers. I've written grants for play costumes and color printers and movie cameras and guitars. I brought astronauts to our schools, hosted Zoom calls with scientists in Antarctica. I've spent time on playgrounds and behind PTA sign-up tables, building trusting relationships with students, parents, teachers, and community members, encouraging students and parents to find their voices and advocate for themselves. I have delved into the state budgeting process and teacher-student ratios to advocate for retaining teachers at our schools, for keeping instrumental music strong and equitable across our district. Thank you. It's a big one. For access to all in college preparation and scholarship opportunities, I've spoken at school board meetings to support our teachers union in getting fair contracts. And I've spoken for Title IX gender equity for our girls in sports. Thank you. The PTA moms I know are some of the smartest, most empathetic, resourceful, hardworking, and ethical people I have ever known. Just a PTA mom, what a badge of honor. Despite being outraised by my opponents by over $100,000, which is a lot in a school board race, I missed being elected by just about 300 votes. Thank you. My beautiful mom, Michael, also passed away unexpectedly 1 week before the election. The best and most original right fighter who taught me to use my voice, who made over 700 phone calls for my campaign. I'm not sure whether it was losing my mom, or the many conversations I had with people, or the current climate of seeing so much damage being done to our public education system after the last election. But something has broken open inside of me, and it has energized me even more to continue my activism, federally, locally, whatever it takes. Whether it is a parent fighting for their child's civil right to a funded, equitable education, or a middle school girl frustrated with the dress code enforcement, I will continue to listen and seek to understand the issues that parents, students, and teachers care about. I always want to understand, and no issue is too small. I want my children to go to the very best schools. We all do. And I will never stop trying to perfect our schools so that we are able to help every child achieve their goals and dreams. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, State Rep Carrie Rheingans. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I'm State Representative Carrie Rheingans, and as I was driving here from Ann Arbor, I live in Ann Arbor and represent part of Jackson County, I was thinking, gosh, it's another Saturday, another rally at Lansing Capitol. So thank you so much for being here. I am the proud product of public education. I went to Linden Community Schools in Genesee County, class of the millennium. And then I went to the University of Michigan 3 times for undergrad, public health, and social work. And go blue, also go blue, and also go blue, because I have 3 degrees from there. So then I taught there for a little while, and I was part of the Lecturers Employee Union, one of the oldest adjunct faculty unions in the nation, AFT, American Federation of Teachers, Local 6244, and they let me still be a member, so I'm still a proud union member today. So we know unions built the middle class, and one thing unions do is organize. And what I want to talk to you about today, I hear all throughout my district, all throughout the state, every time I'm up here on these steps and people ask, so what do? We are here to celebrate today, but people want to know what they can do to take action. Now, many of you are making phone calls, sending emails. You need to keep doing that. Many of you might not have thought about doing this yet, but you are my boss. You are the boss of every state level elected official in the state. That building right there is the House building. The one that says Senate is the Senate building. Y'all own that. You own this building, the Capitol. So you can walk your tax-paying little buns right up into our offices and tell us what to do. And you should do that. But if you're already doing those things and you're like, what can I do? What else can we do to fight back? Well, friends, you don't have to do everything. You can't do everything, but there's a lot that needs to happen. We need people to be a protester or a rally goer like you are today. If you can't do that, maybe you can be an amplifier. Maybe you can amplify what's happening in streets all across the country. You can amplify what's happening in DC here in Lansing. You can be an amplifier. Maybe you can be a donor. Maybe today's the day you can be a donor, but maybe it's not till next week after your next paycheck. Maybe you can never be a donor, but somebody out here can be a donor. Maybe somebody can be an economic disruptor. You can boycott, you can strike. These things are working. These things are already working. We're already hearing from Target, after they got rid of DEI, that they have lost foot traffic for weeks and weeks in a row because of your actions. They're listening. So is Tesla. They're listening. So you can be an economic disruptor through boycotts or for strikes, which unions are famous for. So if there's a call for a general strike and you can be a person who strikes, be an economic disruptor. So we need you to do any and all of these things. We also need storytellers. How are these things affecting you? Tell your friends, tell your family, tell people on social media. Be a storyteller. So which of these 5 things do you think you can do? Maybe you are already doing being a protester today. Maybe tomorrow you do something else, but you don't have to do every single thing. But all of these things do need to happen. And it does take 5 fingers to make a fist so that we can fight back and protect our kids, protect our public education, and you can be a protester, a disruptor. You can be a storyteller. Figure out what you want to be and how you want to get involved. Thank you so much for being here today. Okay, I'm moving it along. Next. One of the dearest people in my teaching world, friends, music educator, musician, and all-around amazing human, John Campbell.
All right. I hope you brought your singing voices today to this rally. Let's hear it. As soon as I arrived and saw these people for public education, I knew I had to do my best to get the masses joined together in song. In the shadows of Pete Seeger and the Freedom Singers, we will rise up singing. Teachers, paraprofessionals, administrative assistants, school nurses, our voices are our power. Our voices are our power. When I say our strength is our unity, I want you to say, we shall not be moved. Our strength is our unity. We shall not be moved. We rise by lifting others. We shall not be moved. With voices loud and fists held high, we shall not be moved. When we sing together, we shall not be moved. I hope you'll join me in singing. It's very easy, anyone can do it. The chorus goes like this. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved like a tree planted by the water. We shall not be moved. Try with me. We'll sing, come together. There's power in our voices. Let's do it. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Come together, there's power in our voices. We shall not be moved. Yeah, our strength is in our unity. We shall not be moved. That's it. Our strength is in our unity. We shall not be moved. Come together, there's power in our voices. We shall not be moved. We rise by lifting others. We shall not be moved. We rise by lifting others. We shall not be moved. We rise by lifting others. We shall not be moved. Come together. There's power in our voices. We shall not be moved. With voices loud and fists held high, we shall not be moved. With voices loud and fists held high, we shall not be moved. Come together, there's power in our voices. We shall not be moved. Man, you sound really good. I've got one more verse for us. Let's sing it out so those people up there can hear us. They might be home today. When we sing together, we shall not be moved. When we sing together, we shall not be moved. Come together, there's power in our voices. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Come together, there's power in our voices. We shall not be moved.
All right, we got this. Oh, hearing this next person speak, I was in the car driving the first time I heard them talk about the passion that they felt and the care that they felt for their child. And I was in the car trying to keep my eyes open and not watering and crying all over while I'm driving because the words just felt like hot chocolate to my heart. Please welcome Shireen Nathan and their daughter, Tyrese Carey.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tyrese Carey. I'm here to share a speech about my autism life. My life living with autism. So, where should I start? Let's begin with my birth. I was born in 2006, and I was not a small baby, but a big, healthy baby. After a long wait inside my mom's stomach, I finally entered the world on February 27, 2007. Honestly, I didn't want to come out because I felt so uncomfortable there. Not gonna lie for sure. So, as time passed, I, I spent I spent much time sitting on the living room floor, waiting for my mom to pick me up. When she finally did, I started to cry, and she seems confused, thinking she done something wrong. When she done something wrong. My brother picked me up next, but I continue to feel anxious. My whole family was bliss, wondering what was wrong with me. This this prompted my mom to take me to the hospital, where they ran some tests to see if I was okay. When the doctor came out, he told my mom that I was diagnosed with autism. At that time, she didn't know what autism was. So she had to look it up online to learn how to support me. I was diagnosed when I was 2 years old and started school at 3, which has helped me a lot. No. In preschool and kindergarten, I was shy and nervous little girl. I often worried that no one wanted to be my friend, or that I wouldn't know how to talk to them. So I tended to stay quiet. On my first day of school, when my mom said goodbye, I cried, told her, "Don't leave me, I need you." I don't know what to do. My emotions felt overwhelming. I felt sad. But she reassured me. But she reassured me that I didn't have to worry. My resources were there for me, and I would make many friends. And they helped me with support from my resource teachers. I started to feel more comfortable in my class with the teacher and few students. I began to feel open, like I wasn't alone. I expressed the joy of being a kid, having fun, making friends, and learning new things. I loved school and began to see myself as a smart girl. I felt brave and happy knowing my best friends and resources were there for me. That's it. Thank you.
Hello, good people. Hello. I just want to have a conversation with you. My daughter has said it all, right? And I could go on and on and on, but I think everything that I was going to say has already been said, right? We know we got to do the leg work, right? We know we got to email. We know we got to call. We know we got to, as one of the senators said, walk our buns up these stairs. and let them know who we are, right? Because we're not just a vote. We're not just a number. We have names. We have identities. But one thing I want to leave you with is that we all have a superpower. We are not defined by what our abilities or the lack of abilities that we have. We all have superpowers. I live with dyslexia. That's my superpower. My scholar lives with autism. That is her superpower. So we embrace our superpowers, right? But without the funding, how can we embrace those? Right? So we have to fight for these superpowers. We have to embrace each and every one of them. And we have to let our government officials know that we are holding you accountable to make sure that we get the funding that we need to continue to embrace our scholars' superpowers. So make sure you go back and say, hey, I just found out that each and every one of us have superpowers and we're going to embrace them. Thank you so much.
I should have put a couple seconds in for a hug in between each. I can't help it. I'm a hugger. Now, representing the Michigan PTA as well as the PTO, we have Tanya and Sonia Chawla.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for staying out here in the cold. My name is Tanya Whitehead, and I am here today as president of the Michigan Parent Teacher Association, the oldest child advocacy organization in the country, representing over 25,000 members here in Michigan.
Sorry. Good afternoon. My name is Sonia Chawla, and I am the proud parent of 2 children in Michigan Public Schools, a graduate of Michigan Public Schools, and the daughter of a former Michigan Public School teacher. I also served on the PTO executive committee for 4 years in my kids' school, and I'm currently on our district-wide PTO Council's Equity Committee. We're here today to celebrate public schools, their role as an anchor in our communities, and to rally behind increased resources for Michigan public schools. We all know the data showing that Michigan underfunds public education to the tune of $5 billion. We also know the data showing how a trusted and caring adult can be a protective factor in our children's development and their adult attainment, particularly in our historically marginalized populations and for children experiencing trauma, children whom public schools must educate but that the private and charter schools can turn away. But behind every data point, every number, there's a person, a child, and each of these children matter. Public schools teach all of our children, regardless of background, ability, or socioeconomic status. They play an outsized role in leveling the playing field in our society. Public schools don't pick and choose students, they educate all. They're required by law to ensure that each student has the specific frameworks in place that they need to succeed. In addition, many districts have equity plans that affirm their commitment to reduce and remove barriers for students. By guaranteeing education for all and not just for the wealthy or the privileged, our public schools uplift children from historically marginalized populations, and through education and other opportunities like field trips and enrichment activities, give them the means to achieve their best, both in school and beyond. But our schools do more than educate children, they also feed our children. Last year, the USDA published a study about the Universal School Meals Program that was funded by the federal government during COVID. When federal funding stopped between the 2022-2023 school year, some states chose to extend the program using state funding, Michigan being one of those states. The USDA researchers found that children in public school districts that did not extend the program had a nearly 10% greater food insufficiency rate than children in districts that extended the program. In Michigan, the food insecurity rate among children is around 14%, or 1 in 7 kids. Simply put, our public schools are critical in reducing childhood hunger, and children who go hungry show decreased concentration, decreased academic performance, increased behavioral issues, and are sick more often than children who do not have hunger issues. For some of our most vulnerable kids, much of their nutrition comes from public schools. So our public schools not only feed our children's minds, they also nourish our children's bodies. If public schools anchor our community, our public school teachers, TAs, paraprofessionals, and school staff crew the ship. They not only instruct our children, they're our children's caregivers, nurturers, supporters, cheerleaders, confidants. They're trusted adults, which is the phrase I always use with my own kids. They see to it that all children are set up for success and to be contributing members of society. Public schools are the true engines of the economy. We must eliminate the $5 billion funding gap in Michigan between current and appropriate school funding levels. We owe it to our children, to our communities, and to the future of Michigan.
I completely agree. But the public schools we have today, schools that support all children, didn't happen by accident. They exist because parents and community members worked together, advocated at every level of government, and made them happen. Let's take a moment to look back at that history. Over 125 years ago, when interstate travel still took days, more than 2,000 concerned parents, teachers, laborers, and legislators gathered in DC, much like we're gathered here today. On February 17th, 1897, they formed the National Congress of Mothers. That movement spread across the country and later worked side by side with the National Congress of Colored Parents and Teachers Association, founded in 1926. These two groups advocated together until school segregation ended, and they finally joined as one strong organization nationwide in 1970. Over the years, everyday people, just like us, raised their voices and achieved incredible things. We've created kindergarten classes, national children's labor laws, public health service, school hot lunch programs, funding for arts and music education, blocked vouchers for funneling public money into private schools many times, advocated for safety and mental health support initiatives, inclusion programs for students with disabilities, and ESL programs for English language learners. But we are not done. When we combine our voices, we can still move mountains. We can protect and strengthen our public schools, schools that help every child, regardless of need, ability, or background, reach their full potential. I'm going to repeat some things you've heard already, but I think it warrants it. So what can we do? First, vote. Elect leaders who stand with public education and hold them accountable. Show up. Go to school board meetings, town halls, and community forums. Your presence sends a message. Speak out. Share your story with lawmakers, how a teacher made a difference or how a budget cut affected your child. Organize. Start or join a parent advocacy group. One voice is powerful. Many voices are unstoppable. Volunteer. Join your school's PTA or PTO. Help with classroom activities like reading programs. Amplify what's happening on your social media platforms to raise awareness, share successes, and spotlight challenges. Connect. Build relationships with teachers and principals. Partner with them, and don't just communicate when there's a problem. Educate. Talk to your parents about what's happening in your schools. That knowledge fuels their advocacy. And finally, advocate locally and beyond. Call your legislators, email them, show up at the Capitol like you are today, and remind them who they work for. The PTA has postcards at our table that you can send to your federal legislatures or deliver to their offices here in Lansing to make your voice heard. Every voice matters. Together we can protect public education for this generation and the next. Let's keep fighting, let's keep showing up, and let's keep reminding every elected official that public schools are not a political issue, they are a promise to every child in America. Thank you.
We're doing it, okay? Listen, we've got 2 more speakers and then 1 performance that's gonna take your socks and shoot them right off your feet, so prepare yourselves. We have Mitch Senon from Disability Rights Michigan, who is just gonna give us a little blurb about how we can support our special ed programs. Come on up.
Good afternoon, Michigan public education advocates. I'm honored to be here today on behalf of Disability Rights Michigan, standing alongside so many people who believe public education is a force for good. In Brown versus Board of Education, the U.S. Supreme Court described public education as the very foundation of good citizenship and as a right which must be made available to all on equal terms. When we talk about the promise of public education, we must also talk about special education, because that promise is only real if all students are included. Brown addressed racial segregation, and Congress acted in the years afterwards, passing Section 504 and the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. These laws, which remain in effect today, mandate access to education. Access to education for that vibrant community of students with disabilities on the equal terms that the Supreme Court first envisioned in Brown. Communication supports like sign language interpreters or assistive technology, mobility assistance, time with school social workers, specialized instruction for reading, individualized support for basic needs like eating. All these supports and services help students with disabilities to access education and to make their educational experience meaningful, equitable, and empowering. In Michigan, over 220,000 students receive these and other kinds of special education services. That's an average of more than 1 in 7 students. So a classroom of 28 students would have about 4 students with disabilities. These students, just like all students, are gifted artists, emerging leaders, brilliant problem solvers, future employees, neighbors, and friends. And while special education helps many students reach for their full potential, it doesn't need to be seen as a hero's journey. It is common sense that each student learns in an individual way, and special education students are general education students first. I do, we do, you do is a journey between each teacher and each student. Each journey looks different and each one is important. Special education helps students build confidence and independence. It helps families see what is possible, not just what is difficult. And it helps entire schools become more inclusive, more innovative, and more responsive to all learners. Special education gives students with disabilities the tools to thrive, not just in the classroom, but later in life after school. It's how we build pathways to independence, employment, and community. And it's how we show that Michigan values every learner. So to the parents and students here today, keep raising your voices. Be unafraid of standing up for your needs. Work with your schools to fully evaluate students in every area of potential disability, and then advocate for the appropriate supports that meet any disability-related educational needs. We see you and we support you. To the educators, teachers, parapros, principals, superintendents, thank you for teaching to the needs of every student every day. We see you rolling up your sleeves. We see you striving to fulfill the promise of public education by guiding these journeys of learning, each one different, each one important. Day in, day out, it is demanding work, and it deserves our full-throated appreciation. And to our legislators, public education is not just a line item. It's a commitment to the future of Michigan. The Supreme Court talks of public education as the very foundation for good citizenship. And it is upon that foundation that we grow strong communities, a skilled workforce, and a more inclusive and thriving state. Investing in education is investing in everything we hope this state can be. Together, parents, educators, legislators, students, together, we can make Michigan a place where every student gets the chance to access the journey of learning that allows them to grow and shine. Thank you.
You're about to have a double special treat. We have 2 speakers left, both of them amazing high school students. Our first speaker is Amir Abston.
We've been out here for like 2.5 hours. For those who are left with us, how you feeling? Well, I'm not the last act, but I'm close, so I'll try and keep it a little short for you guys. So I'm Amir, I'm 17, I'm a senior at Skyline, and in 3 weeks I will be a graduate of the Ann Arbor public school system. And I spent pretty much my entire life in the public school system, even more so during like when my memory started. But you know, I look back on my last 12 years of education and it's all been positive. And I've had amazing teachers, and I've had amazing schools. I'd like to give a shout out to Avid Elementary School, Forsyth Middle School, A2 STEAM, and Skyline High School. Yeah, no, I've had amazing teachers. I mean, in my 2nd grade, my teacher in 2nd grade brought a comic book expert into class for me because she knew I was interested in it and had that as like my English lesson for the day. I had an 8th grade teacher that hand-delivered donuts to my door during quarantine to try and keep me motivated. And I still go back and visit my AP teachers in classes, even if I didn't like the material, because they made the experience just so great for me. I think that shows why our public education system is so special, and that's why it's so important that we're all here today. I was originally supposed to talk about who I am and the change that I've made in the world, and when I was kind of reflecting on it, because again, I'm not that old, so I haven't really made much of a change yet. I'm not sure where I'm going to go in my future. I think that I have all of this my public education. Because of my magnet teachers that reviewed my work outside of their hours, even like my personal projects, and gave me feedback, I was able to work with nonprofits to fight for the stigma of mental health. Because of my web design teacher that taught me professionalism and communication outside of just web design, I was able to assist in an organization that raised over $10,000 for schools abroad. And so, I mean, all of my teachers have just gone above and beyond for me in ways that they didn't need to, that they weren't paid to do. And so, as we end off the day here, I want to leave you with a call to action. Just as my teachers have done so much for me outside, I think we need to be able to do the same for them. And it's not just on the national level of reaching out to representatives, but even just taking part in the PTO, maybe going to the school board meetings, voting on your officials in the school board, going to public commentary and speaking out for your teachers, it's all gonna help them out right now when they're fighting this battle. And even just giving them a gift of appreciation, because, I mean, they might not be feeling appreciated right now, even if they are. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, he's so much taller than me. All right, so I am gonna pause Action Town. I'm gonna call all of you to come and join us, because what we are about to experience was number 3 on my "this has got to be a part of this event." I would like to present to you Jacqueline, how do I, Boynton, I thought so. Jacqueline Boynton is a student, a senior at Community High School in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And the voice on this one right here is straight up magic. What? You're gonna have her come to this one? Yeah, right. I would like to present to you, singing a song that's about to fill everyone's heart up. Get ready. Jacqueline Boynton. what? Holy moly. All right. I need to thank every single one of you for staying. I need to thank every single person who came up here to speak. I need to thank my family and my friends. This is how I'm going to end today. I'm going to end today with a poem that was originally written by Reverend William Holmes Borders in the 1950s. I wanted to end with something from Sesame Street because I was grown from Sesame Street. This is an I say, you say, and here we go. The poem is, I am somebody. When I say the thing, you repeat the thing. I am somebody. I am somebody. I am somebody. I am somebody. I may be poor. I may be poor. But I am somebody. I may be young, but I am somebody. I may be on welfare, but I am somebody. I may be small, but I am somebody. I may have made mistakes, but I am somebody. My clothes are different. My face is different. My hair is different, but I am somebody. I am black. I am brown. I am white. I speak a different language, but I am somebody. I may have a disability. I may be queer, but I must be respected, protected, never rejected, because I am somebody. Thank you so much for coming today.